All right, so we're doing the second video. So basically, he ends up talking about the cut sheet, okay? Because in the second video, the first step is to put the stock, how much material you're going to have around it. You're basically creating your material in there. And if you look at the setup sheet, it does tell you what size bar you're going to be using. So material is aluminum, and the piece of metal is going to be a 1x2 bar. And like in reality, the bar might be like 4 foot, and they're going to cut a section, and that section is going to be 4.1. So the stock is going to be 1x2 by 4.1. All right, so if I look at the PDF and notice it's not, this doesn't say 2, this says 1.9. So what's happening is the material is actually 2 inches wide, that spot. And this material is actually 4.1. So in both directions, that has 0.1 more. And what it does is it ends up splitting that difference of that. So it's 0.05 on each side, and ends up looking, let's look at the top view. Ends up looking like so. See, there's a little bit extra all the way around the edge. And when we're looking at this, we also are trying to get our X, Y, and Z, our origin point, to be at the exact corner of where the part's going to be. If there was like a box around the corner. I know that this has a chamfer on it. So let's kind of go over that real quick. So this is the part. I got rid of the stock so we can kind of go over it together. And I really only went, if you're looking at the tutorial, I went like 8 minutes in, and then I kind of went back and I followed it. But I want to recap that first 8 minutes. So right now we're not in the manufacturing thing. So we're not in the right space. So we're going to go here. This is the same pull down where we went for drawings, where we did the basically the 2D drawings from the 3D. But this time we're going to manufacture. There's some cool ones in here, like generative design and simulation. But manufacture, and you'll see it should say milling now and turning. And these are the different tool paths, and these are different setup things that you'll see them, the toolpaths listed here in the future. First thing he does, he says new setup, and basically that ends up going right here. So that's our new setup. If you accidentally like clicked out or something, you should be able to right click on this. Well, let me just say okay. You can right click on that and say edit, and you can get that right back, okay? Just in case that happens to you. All right, first thing, we're going down here. So we don't know what the exact machine is right now. I do have a specific setup for a machine, but this would show actually the machine in 3D, and it's not necessary. Next thing, make sure it's milling, because right now we're using a CNC milling machine. This one, instead of model orientation, we're going to do select XY, select Z axis and X or Y. It doesn't really matter, and there's actually, as long as this X, Y, and Z is in the right spot. All right, so let's try to get this in the right way. So Z axis, I'm just going to select one thing on it. And now this says X axis, it like automatically selected. So I selected those two. So it's still, that's right now, X, Y, and Z. right? If you're familiar with that. Now that's not in the right spot, right? Right now it's there. When we designed this, it was basically at this corner piece. So instead of the stock being an origin, we're going to make the model the origin. But we're going to say model box point. All right, so the reason for that is because there's a chamfer here. So like it's just showing us like the exact corners instead of like the actual, chamfer or something. So you say model box point, and then you click on it. So, and there's actually multiple ways to get to this point. As long as the X, Y, and Z are in the right spots and you're at the right origin, you're good. If it's wrong, you can flip it, but this is the goal. Once you got that, my screen doesn't fit everything. Once you got that, we're going to say stock. Moving to the next tab over, and we're going to change this. Now, different people set these up differently, but we're going to follow this guy's lead, and it really depends on what kind of material you got and blah, blah, blah. But we're going to say, is it a relative size box? No, it was... Basically, we need to offset. Okay, so I just had to check that. So relative size box is correct, but instead of add stock to just sides and top bottom, we're going to say add stock to all sides. And he has this at 0.05. Right, so I actually copied that. Because it's going to be I didn't get the point. 0.05, so that's right in all the directions except for on the Z. The Z is going to be, I think it was 0.2. And then on the very bottom, I believe it 0.02, and then 0.23. Nope, I got them mixed up. All right, so basically he's setting extra material on the bottom.
Pardon the interruption. Nathan Isaac, please report to the main office. Nathan Isaac, please report to the main office. Thank you.
Oops. So the reason that there's extra material at the bottom, guys, because that's where it's going to be clamped. And if you can't you don't want to cut the jaws that it's clamping to. So you leave material so it can stay attached to it. Okay, so that looks right. And look, after you get that, you look at the bottom where it says stock dimensions. This keeps changing size. Stock dimensions, and it says it's 4.1 by 2 by 1, which if we go back here, should look familiar. Oh, keep looking at the wrong thing. 1 by 2 by 4.1. So perfect. And this is all we're going to do today. Well, once you get this, once it says here stock dimensions is correct, and whoa, somehow I lost my setup there. And basically your X, Y, Z needs to be in the right spot. I don't know how I messed that up, but let me fix that real quick. So I'm going to select my X, I'm going to select my Z. Stock point. I don't want that there. I want it at the model point. And okay. All right, so yeah, I got that in the right spot. X, Y, Z. Yeah, and my stock's good. And I'm gonna let you guys catch up. If you need help, just let me know.